Look at that. Nature at its finest. Good morning, everyone. Great morning. It's a great morning. I hope all is well with you, your family, your loved ones. This is Mark, the Silver Money Dude. I have as promised, I am going to create a video today titled, "Thy Will Be Done on Earth." ... For all of the Christians who follow me and are subscribed to the channel, you know what the rest of it is. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Now, for those of you who may not know where that is derived from, it's derived from the King James Version of the Bible, which is actually one of the original interpreted versions in English of the Bible. You have to wonder and you have to ask yourself, those are actually the words of Jesus. Those were the instructions given on how to pray. It's interesting the way that Jesus even starts the prayer off. He says, "Our Father." Our meaning not just mine, not just yours. It's interesting the way that people relate to one another and the way that we relate to God, the Creator, whatever that thing is that's greater than we are, that created everything around us that we didn't put here. Regardless of what your religion is, your belief is, if you're an atheist, if you're a non-believer, it makes no difference, because ultimately, when it's all said and done, as human beings, we have a high level of intelligence and understanding that we have the potential to use to do incredible, miraculous, unimaginable things. That potential and the fact that it's there is what keeps... And let me try to get some of the sun out the shot. I might have to move locations. That keeps us driven as human beings to continue moving forward and continuing to explore, learn, seek out that which we don't know yet. The reason that technology continues to improve is because we're on an upward curve. We're moving like this as far as technology and information. However, we're moving like this as far as social and economics. We're operating with an obsolete monetary system that does not provide for every person on this planet. It actually keeps you from progressing and advancing and moving forward and exploring your creativity and exploring the things that you would like to know that you don't know yet. You don't know what to look for if you're always forced to only have your vision and your perspective focused on one particular thing or one area of things. That's what the education system today does. It keeps you focused on this little bit of information that's irrelevant. Because if you have to think about it, once you know how to read, write, and begin to do mathematics, that's the very beginning stages of further education. The information that you're programmed to learn through the education system that we have now is irrelevant for your life. most of it, is just stuff. It's not relevant to anything that you're doing in your daily activity, in your family activity. You got to think about it. It's good to know history. It's good to know, social studies. I'm not saying that it's not. But it's better to know and have information at the pace and at the level that you're operating on as an individual. Instead, you're forced to conform to the way that the system says that you're supposed to operate now. You see? So if you're not keeping up with the system, what do in school? They leave you back. Right? It's called being left back. That's a ridiculous concept. I mean, I have so much information in my psyche at this point that I want to come out. I know sometimes on the video I'll drift off and start talking about other stuff that has nothing to do with what I wanted to talk about in the first place. So let me reel it in. Thy will be done on earth. I'm going to move from here. I don't like this sun, the way that it's coming on this camera. Hang on. All right, that's a little better. All right. So we're exploring this idea of the will of God being done on earth. Now, unless we're sadly mistaken, there must be a specific reason why Jesus would suggest that concept. We know from the description of heaven that heaven is somewhere where there are certain things that don't exist. We know that poverty doesn't exist. We know that hunger does not exist. Prostitution doesn't exist. Gambling doesn't exist. Poverty does not exist. Lack of anything does not exist. As a matter of fact, there is... I'm doing a lot of adjusting this morning. As a matter of fact, there is the total opposite of everything that I just mentioned that exists in heaven. So if those conditions are what Jesus is referring to as far as what he's asking God to do on earth, because he's saying, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. He's presenting conditions that already exist. Heaven, whether it's an actual physical place, which I don't believe it is. I believe that it's a concept, but it's not about what I believe. But we're just going to take it for right now as a concept, because no one has been there to see it. No one can come and say, hey, I've been to heaven and I'm here now, and I can tell you guys, no one has ever done that. At least not that we know of. Someone ever comes and tells you that, you let us know. I'd like to interview them. But listen, so the conditions that are present in the concept or the idea of heaven is what Jesus is asking for to be done on the planet. And that's very important to understand, that he is suggesting, and actually he's confirming, that those conditions will be done on the planet. As he says, thy will be done. Not, I hope that it can be done. I hope it's possible. He didn't say that. He specifically affirmed that the will of God will be done on the planet. And he's telling you in your prayer to ask for that from the Father. So what does that tell you logically? Many of you know now that I've actually come out and said that I'm in full support of the Venus Project. The concepts in the Venus Project are very closely connected to the same principles that are in the Bible, that are in the Quran, that are in the Torah. Principles. I'm not talking about the whole books, all of the books. Oh, well, it also says, it talks about hell, blah, 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 blah. Unless you're not paying attention, many of the conditions that we see on earth right now look like hell. Don't you agree? And to me, hell is when you're poor. Hell is when you're starving to death. You're dying slow. Because you were born in a country where money is kept from your community. It's kept from your family. Which is the one thing that can purchase the things that you need. Because the things that you need are kept from you. You're deprived. It's not that they're not available. They're just not made available to you. Because they are kept from you by other men. Are you guys following me? In these countries where people are dying from, just ridiculous diseases, malaria, yellow fever, all of the stuff that we have, no exposure to in developed nations, right? People die from those diseases every day because they don't have medication that would help them to build up their immune system to prevent the disease from attacking their body in the first place. You see, they don't have what? Access. And all of this goes on because of the root cause. Stop thinking that we're dealing with the symptoms. Silver Money Takeover is dealing with the root cause of all of these problems that prevail on this planet throughout different countries and different nations. So you guys got to understand, the one concept of the Venus Project that caught my attention immediately is the fact that they are saying that the earth is the property of all human beings. No borders. No limitation as far as even the sea and the ocean. No limitation as far as the air. You guys gotta dig into the Venus Project to understand where I'm coming from now. Because this is way bigger than just silver. Silver Money Takeover is like a key that can help to unlock one of the doors that can open up a transition into an existence that you can only imagine in your dreams, that is actually able to be real. The same way Jesus indicated to us that the will of God will be present on this planet. Technology and science is already in the direction of where we're headed. A lot of people, and you got to pay attention to what's going on with technology. Many people think that, technology is taking jobs away from us. It is taking jobs away from us. But you're thinking that that's a bad thing, and it's not. Ultimately, it's a bad thing in this monetary system. It is a bad thing in this monetary system because by robots doing functions that human beings could be doing, but robots are doing it much more efficiently and for less money, that's perfect for corporations. What? Profits. You see, the profit-driven monetary system has to be done away with, guys. It's obsolete. Why do we still have to work for a living? Does that even make sense to you? Does that even, you always have to have an exchange. You don't have to have an exchange if there's abundance of everything, which there is. There's more than enough food. There's more than enough clean water. Why? Because we have the resources to produce them. You don't grow fruit out of your brain, out of your head. fruit and vegetables grow from this planet. And this, if you haven't noticed, this planet is everywhere. You're on it every day. I'm up to 15 minutes already. Wow. All right. I mean, I got more to say, but I gotta bring it to a close. That will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So I want you guys to really, really explore that concept of the idea of heaven, or the conditions that are in heaven being in existence on this planet. The Son of God himself, according to the scripture, said it. So for all of you Christians, understand the words that you're reading. In any case, Facebook.com/GetRichSlow, YouTube.com/SilverMoney2013. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, please do so. These videos, they're getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And I hope that you guys are following me. There's nothing that I won't talk about or can't talk about. I'll talk about it all. Because I have made it an actual profession to use logical, critical thinking, just to get to the bottom line of what makes sense to you, just to the average person. What makes sense? Just use your common sense. They say common sense is not so common. It's because people don't do critical thinking. So that's what we have to engage more in, is critical thinking. Question things that don't make sense to you. You got to do it. And that's how we'll move forward as a human race and get to where we need to be. TheVenusProject.com. Jack Fresco. Check out that information, guys. You can reach us in our office, 718-509-9793. Thank you for watching. Thank you for keeping up with these videos. Thank you all for subscribing and staying tuned in. This information will continue to grow. Hopefully, I'm going to reach out to some people and really try to get this movement moving a little faster, because things are starting to happen. They're starting to happen. It's obvious now. You can't avoid seeing the results of how this system is just coming to its end. It's coming to its end. It's mathematically inevitable. God bless. Silver Money Dude signing off. Keep stacking. Peace and love.